Well, hi, everybody. I want to start talking about the specific ways that you can get a better quality of life because I've developed a set of, I guess you could almost call them rules, but a set of things that really, really help. And one of the prime issues we all have is lack of energy. And that can be very stressful when you're laying there in bed and you know that you have things that need to be done, but you don't have the energy to do them. Um, so, what I use to get around that, a lot of times, what I do is I just try to sneak around the illness, and that's where I got the minutes rule. So, you can start with 1 minute, 3 minutes, or 5 minutes. And what you do in that time, I think the best way to start is to do the thing that's bothering you the most, even if it's not the most important thing. If you're stressing about one particular thing, then that's what you should use your minutes on. So if you have practically no energy that's useful, um, go do something for 1 minute. Use a timer. I use my timer, my microwave timer. You can use your phone, use whatever you have. You would be surprised. You will be surprised at how much you can get done in such a small amount of time. So just take that 1 minute and devote it to the thing that's making you the most stressed. When the timer goes off, you're finished. Your shift is over. If you're feeling a little more energy, you can use 3 minutes. And the same principle applies. Pick the thing that's bothering you the most, use a timer so you know you're not going over, and work for 3 minutes. And if you're at a kind of like, I can do something, but I just don't know what, um, use the 5 minutes rule. I mean, in terms of energy level, if you're at an energy level where you're like, I think I could do stuff, but I'm not really sure, then use the 5 minutes rule. And I can tell you, you can look at a kitchen that's a disaster, and it's amazing what you can do in 5 minutes. And I'm not saying rush through it, just go at your normal pace. So I want to clarify that the minutes rule is meant for like activities of daily life. It's not for wood chopping or any kind of intense physical activity. It's just for the things you do every day. And if you have a hobby of some kind, like puzzles or drawing, the minutes rule will work for those as well. So, like, let's take the kitchen, for example. You're going into the kitchen anyway. I mean, I make a lot of trips to the kitchen, water, coffee, snacks, and you can just see what you can do in 1, 3, or 5 minutes. If you're working on a task on a computer, I find one thing that's really helpful, like let's say you're mostly watching your computer, but you also have something you have to finish. Just leave your page up that you need to work on. And then when you feel that you can do the 1, 3, or 5 minutes, that may not sound like much, but it does make a difference. And I will leave that page up all day if I need to, because it makes it just that bit easier to switch over to it. Now, if you start the minutes rule and you suddenly feel like overwhelmed, depressed, and hopeless, then don't worry about it because you're too ill or don't have enough energy to really deal with it. So just let it go, leave it for the next day. That's fine. And the other thing is, if while you're doing a task, you suddenly feel like somebody pulled the plug out of you and the energy is just draining out like a flood, minutes rules are over. That means you've hit your physical wall and you have to stop. And I have some bonus footage showing that happening to me. And in fact, it's how I developed these rules to begin with. So then at the end, what does this do for you? Well, the first thing it does is you're able to complete a task. Chronic illness kind of robs you of your ability to do things. And the two big ones are you can't complete tasks and you don't have control of your life anymore over your day. So when you use the minutes rules, you do complete a task. It may take all day, but it still gets completed. And while you're doing that task, you feel like you're in control. And it's really important to be able to get back, almost like claw back some of that feeling that you have control over your own life. And that's the minutes rule. So I hope they will work for you as well as they work for me. And I'll see you next time.